Scared you, didn't I? Look at your face. Oh, I got you so good. Okay, let's make the video. Halloween began as a solo day on the 31st of October, which eventually turned into the last week of October. And for whatever reason this year, Halloween has turned into like the whole month of October, which isn't the worst thing, but I think by 2030, we're eventually going to be celebrating Halloween 365 days of the year. And why not? Halloween's a great time. You get to dress up, you get to do one of my favorite things, which is eat a lot of chocolate and candy, and it's the perfect time to watch or release a horror film. We had the Saw movies release every Halloween, we had the Paranormal Activities release every Halloween, we had the Halloweens release every Halloween, and now, of course, a lot of horror movies come out on or close to Halloween. Unfortunately though, horror movies have turned into what Christmas movies are. Now, I felt your shiver there. I felt the little cringe that went up your spine when I said Christmas movies. Sorry, I won't say it again. But now with this abundance of horror movies, which are kind of the easiest and cheapest movies to make, the horror movie genre is now the worst movie genre. We've had heaps of horror movies through the decades with the intent of a horror movie to scare you or at least leave you with some sort of fear or anxiety. And of course, when that's your primary intention, there are only so many ways to make a unique, fun, interesting, or even scary horror film. Horror movies have followed the same tropes for a while now. Have a bunch of jump scares with a really loud sound that kind of masks that what you're showing isn't really that scary.
Oh my god, you're covered in...
Have someone say hello when a really strange sound happens off screen. Hello? Or even think about every paranormal movie where something small and weird happens in the background that the character doesn't notice. Like a door closing or some sort of movement in the background. Then you build it up and the character starts to notice those really small weird things happening. And eventually it gets to the point where the whole room is flying around and shit is flying everywhere and demons are pulling people into the depths of hell and all this wild shit is happening. And you just think, why didn't you just do that from the start? If you're gonna suck me onto the roof, well... buy me a drink first. But why wait? Fuck me up. Go ham. Pull me to hell. Let's get this party started already. No, but seriously, horror movies can be great when they couple the genre with another genre. The Saw films are essentially thriller films with horror elements. The Child's Plays have transitioned from horror with some comedy to comedy with some horror. Even the Screams managed to make it interesting by turning the whole genre around and acknowledging the tropes and stereotypes that happen in these movies and then use them against the audience. They've made a whole franchise of meta horror movies. And then comes In Barry. I was looking at reviews and there were no ones. And I was thinking, am I really gonna review a good movie? I felt dirty, I felt strange. This is so unusual. All of these great reviews. I can't make a video on this. And then I watched it. It tries to genre bend. It's a horror and it's a comedy. It's barely either one, to be honest. Wait, sorry, that's not a pun. I didn't say barely on purpose. We're all class here on this channel. But no, Barry really barely manages to even be a horror. And it really, and I mean really, tries very hard to be a comedy. And this movie continues to genre bend because this horror/comedy movie starts with, I'm not kidding, a Euro house love song. This song is 100% copyrighted, so I'll hum it, I guess. But he don't love you like that, motherfucker, yeah! And they milked the license that they paid for because this intro with whatever the fuck this is goes for 2 whole minutes. I've never seen a horror movie start like this. I've never seen any movie start like this. But I'll give them credit. A horror movie mixed in with some comedy and animated love story. They're really going for it. And then, again, I'm not kidding, we jump into a very powerful sex scene. I doubt I can show this on YouTube. It's a couple, a man and a woman. But he's really going for it. He has her legs up and he's as red as a tomato. But luckily for us, he finishes and rolls aside. And she clearly didn't enjoy it. But someone who did maybe enjoy it was the editor, who forgot to join the cuts together and leaves in a couple blank frames.
You seem to be turning the...
Good start to the movie. First scene, and the editor hasn't cut the movie properly. We're definitely in bad movie territory here, people, and I'm definitely here for it.
Well, you didn't get anything from that?
I would like to feel that we are connecting.
Seriously, you didn't feel that?
Did he do a handstand before he shot this? The dude is so red.
I thought you liked it whenever I took you to Pound Town. Baby, I was joking. Fuck this. I want a divorce.
These people are married? Well, they're married, and so they go through divorce papers.
Come on, I got a new girl now. She's younger, better looking, does what I want her to, and plays a whole lot less.
What is with this audio? The mixing is terrible. The music is so much louder than the dialogue. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm reviewing a new movie called Barry. How good's this background music, people? It's really, really cool, eh?
You're an asshole.
I know. I'm a free asshole.
And they get divorced. We don't know who they are, what their names are, where they're from, but they're divorced. And so unknown blonde lady, who her name's Chloe, well, let's just get that out of the way, gets into a depressive state and avoids her friend's calls for about a month now. But luckily her friend has keys and gets in.
Are we enjoying a self-pity party?
The friend convinces her to go out drinking, and so Chloe goes to get ready.
Do it! We're going out! Hey,
Hi, Mom.
sweet!
The delivery guy just dropped this off.
Perfect!
And then the friend's daughter comes into the house. Explain to me how it's been a month with no contact to this friend Sam, and then all of a sudden Sam's daughter just comfortably walks into this house as if nothing's happened for the past month. This movie is already so incredibly stupid. I love it.
What the hell? Sam, what is this?
This is your new lover.
And here is Barry. Ooh, scary. I can't think of anything scarier than a giant teddy bear. So they go out for dinner and drinking, and the main waiter is shown to like Chloe. And then, you wouldn't guess this, the daughter shows up again to talk to her mum. The daughter in this movie is like mayonnaise on ice cream. It's unnecessary, it makes it worse, and I don't know why you thought it would make any sense to put it there in the first place. But Sam comes back and takes Chloe out for drinks, where we're exposed to our first of many montages in this hour and 20-minute long movie. So Chloe goes home and she sleeps with Barry.
But I'm not in the mood. You sure are needy.
And then we're introduced to another montage of sorts, with Chloe dating people who don't exist in the real world.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I enjoy a rousing fencing tournament. I'm looking for girlfriends.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 18. Prettier than Betsy.
Who's Betsy?
That's the Proudman and Heifer.
But of course, they don't work out, so Chloe decides to go for dinner with her boss.
Taste it.
Sure, a little bit of sexual harassment to the waitress goes well, so you can probably tell how this date goes. She gets fired because she doesn't take his advances, and Chloe asks the man who's crushing on her to take her home. She goes home and tells Barry what she thinks of him, and begins the curse.
I love you very much too.
This inevitably causes Barry to go and kill her boss for firing her. Barry cuts off his head, and in the theme of cutting off heads, they frame the next scene so the detective's head is cut off. Maybe just lift the camera a bit? These detectives go and visit Chloe for some questioning. The detectives leave, and another friend comes.
I hear you have man issues.
Great.
I'm here to help. Is all the wine gone?
No, we have a bunch more bottles inside.
Perfect.
So they set her up on a couple more dates, and we have another montage. But one of the dates doesn't go so well, and he decides to follow her home.
Come on. Perfect together. I can feel it.
What are you? Some kind of Jedi?
But he shouldn't have done that because Barry kills him too. So by now it just seems impossible. There are no good guys out there for Chloe. But that doesn't stop Sam and Lewis from trying, and they set her up with someone from Sam's work, which actually goes pretty well, and she seems quite interested. But, of course, that doesn't last too long. Whilst they're on the phone, Barry comes and visits and kills off Nice Dude, which causes the detectives, of course, to become more suspicious of Chloe. At the same time, her ex-husband, Red Rocket, comes to pay her a visit, and he wants that ring back.
Either you give me the ring, or I go tell the cops that you threatened me with a knife. How do you think that's gonna go over with them?
But of course, Barry overhears, and he doesn't like that at all. He retrieves the ring and goes home. We know he's home because they do an establishing shot, which they seem to have shot with an old smartphone. Maybe they didn't have enough budget to shoot the establishing shots with the normal camera that they had, but the two establishing shots that they have seem to be done on phones. I mean, I hope they didn't go to some random person's house and just film their house with a smartphone when they found time to do it. But anyway, Red Rocket has a shower, and so does Chloe. The Chloe shower scene is completely unnecessary, and it's actually quite revealing, but no doubt the Chloe shower scene is just for the director or whoever decided to put this in. But of course, shower scene trope from Psycho means that Red Rocket gets killed. And Chloe can breathe again. All of the bad men are out of her life. So she gives the waiter Steven a shot at dating. And then, you wouldn't have guessed it, but there's another montage. They're in love, but Barry hates it. And so now Barry targets Steven. But for story purposes, of course, he doesn't kill Steven because somehow he stabs him in the, of course, really deadly part of the body that is between the arm and the chest. But Barry is not done. He goes after Chloe and, yeah, does that. But luckily, instead of taking himself to the hospital, Steven comes and saves the day, and they swiftly take off in Steven's Hummer. A couple hours go by and the car breaks down.
Last night.
It's a teddy bear!
Thank you for that information. Can you now tell me who the fuck you are and what you're doing laying in the back seat for a couple hours?
There's a teddy bear trying to kill you and you're worried about who the fuck I am!
Okay, I think it's time to stop yelling, lady. We don't know who you are and why you're in the movie. But they trust her and they head to some old hunter's shack that she says to go to lure Barry in. Which is good because Barry decides to hitch a ride on top of the detective's car. The detectives who somehow know where Chloe is going.
I'll be damned.
Ah yes, a random car that is not Chloe's. That must mean she's here.
Let's go get him. Let's finish this.
And get her they do. Not do. A bunch of shit happens for a couple hours. Barry comes in and kills the yelling lady. Barry and Steven have a fight. Chloe shoots him. Chloe eventually hugs Barry and lights him on fire. And the detectives haven't shown up since they actually arrived there the day prior. Oh, no, here they are, just in time to shoot Barry after a couple hours have gone by. And that's it. Or is it? And that's Barry. If it seems like the ending went really quick, that's because it did. From her beginning to date Steven to the end of the movie is 20 minutes. So you might be asking yourself, why didn't Barry succeed? Everything we've seen was a masterpiece, obviously. Let's compare it to an actually good killer doll movie, Child's Play. Chucky is Charles Lee Ray, a criminal who uses voodoo to place himself inside a good guy doll as he's dying, and then he has a limited amount of time to place himself inside a human body before he's permanently stuck inside the Chucky doll. So he tries to put his soul into Andy's body. We have a backstory, we have a motivation for him to do what he does, and we have a personality on the doll. Barry, on the other hand, has no personality, no backstory, and no motivation. Andy, in Child's Play, is a young child navigating these murders happening around him, which lead evidence to him because Chucky is the same size as Andy. No one believes him when he says Chucky is doing it because he's a child and he has a child's imagination, and because the evidence like footprints at the crime scene work against him. Chloe, in Barry, is recently divorced and she dates caricatures of men, whilst the bear kills all the bad people around her, which works to her advantage. She has no struggle. I mean, Berry was obviously also written by a 10-year-old boy, so that's forgivable. At least we can say they tried. Please don't try again. And that's it for our Halloween special. Subscribe down below, leave a spooky like on the video, and I'll see you next time.